Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I did a poll for you guys on my YouTube yesterday about what type of video you guys would want to see. I know right now trending, it's been the whole Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson like saga thing, and then also Britney Spears. She has been looking really different lately, especially on her Instagram and her TikTok. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it circulating around on Facebook as well. She just looks really spaced out. She doesn't look like herself. She almost looks a little bit dead in the eyes. It's actually a really sad situation, especially because of mental health. Some people don't take it really seriously. Some people laugh and joke about it, but if you look at everything she's been through, how much has been hitting, how much she's been controlled, it's just really eerie to see what's happening with her right now. So I am just going to jump right into it. If you guys like these type of videos, make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you guys can see more. Jumping into her background, she was known as the pop princess of the 1990s into 2000s. People are cult-like obsessed with her. She's an incredible performer, incredible dancer. Her singing's pretty much on point. People wouldn't say that, you know, she's the Celine Dion of our time, but she basically was a whole package in one. She was what girls wanted to be, what guys wanted to be dating. She was just everything. She had the prettiest, brightest smile. She was happy, she was cute, she was flirty, she was sexy. She really knew how to put on a show. Age of 3 is when she started singing and dancing, and by age 8 she was traveling to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club, which she didn't get at first, but later on she ended up being cast for it. She was also cast as an understudy for the off-Broadway play in New York called Ruthless. From there, she went on to record Baby One More Time, which ended up becoming a huge worldwide hit and the biggest selling album ever by a teenage artist. Then she went on to record 2 more albums that were very sexualized, extremely mature. When she recorded Baby One More Time, the actual video, she was only 16 years old. If you look back, she was in a schoolgirl outfit, and she had these big doe puppy dog eyes. This video is what really put her on the map and made her an instant sex symbol. I specifically remember growing up at that age, around 15, being like, I want to be Britney Spears. I loved everything about her. I got my belly button pierced because of her. Everything I wore, I wanted to almost replicate her, which actually at that age, when she was 16 filming that, I don't think she had any idea the magnitude of fame that she was going to instantly arise to. Now, when you're that young and you're thrown into heavy fame where you are a household name and you're also being sexualized so young, it can really have a lot of damaging traits on your brain. The whole world was watching her. The whole world was criticizing her. Everyone had something to say whether they agreed with her or not, and that can be really hard for a teenager. Look at social media right now. Kids get bullied on there. They take their own lives at such a young age. For her, maybe social media wasn't as like it is today, but she couldn't walk into a store without seeing something published on the newsstands about her being too fat, too thin, her breast, her lips, anything possible that they could talk about to make money. At that age, you're not equipped with how to deal with that. She admitted in an article, and I'm going to quote this, she says, "I wish my hair was thicker. I wish my feet were prettier. My toes are really ugly. I wish my ears were smaller and my nose could be smaller." So it just shows that she was very self-conscious. She made many quotes about her appearance and how she didn't find herself to be as sexy or as hot as people portrayed her. So imagine growing up and you're constantly being pushed to be one way and be very sexy and hot and be this big sex symbol, but at the same time your actual inner self is extremely shy and childlike. She's said many times that she's very shy. She wasn't made for Hollywood. Sometimes she wishes that people just didn't know who she was. It's almost like she's torn into 2 people. When you are that young, you kind of find yourself, and then you get into your early 20s and you still kind of find yourself, but at the same time not everyone's watching and judging you. So I feel like she never really had that time to figure out who she truly was. Into her background more, her family life was not perfect. She had a hard family life growing up. When she was younger, she said how she wishes that her mom and dad would end up divorcing because they would fight all the time. Her brother has said that her dad, Jamie, was an alcoholic, and that one time he started drinking, got into a fight with Lynn, which is Britney's mother, and then Jamie tried to leave and take Britney with him in a car. Also, Jamie's mother had committed suicide when he was only 14 years old. It's said that her growing up was based around her becoming a star, and that they didn't have a lot of money. They lived in like a little one-bedroom apartment for a while, all with this need to make Britney into a famous celebrity. Family and friends has said that Britney always felt the need to make up for that and to make sure that she was able to provide for her family and take care of their needs, and to almost feel like she needed to pay them back somehow. In 2000, she was nominated for a Grammy, which she did not win, and told Rolling Stone, and I'm going to quote, "I felt kind of sad that I let them down, and I talked to them and they were worried for me." She's also made many comments about her just being a kid. So I'm going to quote, for example, "It makes me feel good when people realize I'm just a kid, just because people expect so much out of me right now." So that just goes to show she's overworked and she's trying to be something almost that she's not for everyone else. She's also said before that she's always felt very manipulated by everyone and that it's very hard for her to trust. A friend in 2008 told Rolling Stones, and I'm going to quote, "For years, everyone manipulated Britney. If she didn't want to come out of the trailer, the label would come to me and say, 'Please talk to Britney, make sure she performs, and we'll take you on a shopping spree.'" So it just shows that they didn't really care for her emotional needs. They cared more about her being a moneymaker. She also says, again, and I'm going to quote this to Rolling Stone, she says, and I quote, "I'm supposed to take 6 months off, but I probably won't. The whole point of taking a break is to be out of the public eye and not see my face on TV because I'm sick of myself." Which is really, really sad. You could tell she's tired. She's probably lonely. She wants a break, and she feels guilty for not doing that. Now, her love life is another roller coaster. So she was with Justin Timberlake, which he made a video called Cry Me a River, where a woman depicted to be Britney and is basically insinuated that she cheated on him in their relationship. And then he went on to also talk about their sex life, which was supposed to be private. So she felt, you know, deceived by somebody, her first love that she really trusted. If you look back at her family life with her father, she loved her father obviously, but he had issues of his own. So that just again shows like it's really hard to trust. Somebody took advantage of her, you know, spilling those secrets. From there, in 2003, she married a friend from back home in Louisiana named Jason Alexander. Didn't work out. They annulled it right away. And this is where she met Kevin Federline. In 2005 is when she met him, which came with a lot of drama. Allegedly cheated on his wife with Britney. It's also said that he allegedly encouraged her to fire her mom and a lot of her team and Larry Rudolph, which was her manager at the time. And it's said that she always felt he always had her best interest, even though she didn't see it in the moment. It's also alleged that he would ditch her and go out partying on her dime, and that kind of caused her to feel really depressed, really alone. Again, it made her feel like, you know, she was all by herself and nobody understood her. It made her feel manipulated. And again, I'm sure it led to those trust issues. In 2006, they had a long custody battle because she filed for divorce, where he ultimately was granted $1 million and then $20,000 every month, the amount for the child support, which was eventually upped in 2018. In 2013, she had another engagement with Jason Traswick, which ultimately ended, and it's said that he needed somebody that was on the same level, that he didn't feel like he needed a baby and take care of and watch over, as well as she wanted to have more kids and he didn't. In 2014, she was with David Lusato, which was accused of cheating on her as well. And currently she's with Sam Asghari since 2016, and it seems like everything's going well. People have their doubts about it. People say that he's actually really great for her. It seems like everything's going great, which leads me to her son actually was on Instagram Live and was asked questions about her dad. They said, "How is your grandfather?" He said, and I quote, "He's a pretty dick and he can go die." And then they asked him about Sam, her current boyfriend, and he said he's a really cool guy and really nice. So that's pretty much a rundown of her background history. So now I'm going to get into her mental health and the control and hashtag Free Britney, what that all is about. So basically it all started in 2008. Was held on that 5150 involuntary hold with a custody dispute with Kevin Federline, which was ultimately released the next day. That's where you saw her being carried out on a stretcher in an ambulance. That January 31st, she was also again placed under a second involuntary 5150. Now, there was rumors that a lot of precautions were made in advance with this, which leads people to believe that this was planned by other people. And this is ultimately when the court decided for her to have a conservatorship. But what's interesting is not only 2 months later, she guest starred to be on How I Met Your Mother, which is funny because she was just told that she's not able to take care of herself, but yet she's able to go on into work, which doesn't really make much sense. You would think that she would need time to rest, recuperate, get her mind right, but yet they send her packing and working. And for her to be able to do How I Met Your Mother, her dad would have to sign off and agree to that. He is the one in control of everything she does. That same month is when the court decided it was going to be a permanent conservatorship. Conservatorship. I feel like I say that wrong every single time. Don't judge me. I know you guys will. What's interesting is that she was denied the right to retain a lawyer. So she had nobody in her corner to speak for her, which is really, really sad, and it's not fair, and I don't know how that happened. The thing that she misses the most is being able to drive a car, being able to go get a coffee, or just to be able to drive a car, she has to get permission. People started wondering and questioning in 2012 when she was able to be a judge on the X Factor, but yet she couldn't even buy a coffee without asking her dad. And then in April of 2019, news broke that she was back in a mental health facility, and her team claims that she went there voluntarily. But Britney Spears allegedly told the courts that in court documents that she was forced into the facility by her dad and was forced to take drugs. And then in September, Kevin Federline filed charges against Jamie, Britney's dad, alleging that he abused the children, there was a big fight, and that he punched his son. And because of that, Britney now only has 30% visitation rights with her sons. As well as when her son was on the Instagram that I was talking about earlier, somebody said to him, "Help your mom break free." And he said, and I'm going to quote, "That's what we're all trying to do." Very, very sad. And then also, David LaChapelle, which is one of Britney's music directors, said the only direction she gave him was to film her in a cage. This has been a consistent theme since she was put under a conservatorship. Again, that's just very telling. Let me know what you guys think about that. Comments below. A letter ended up leaking, and it's a letter that Britney Spears allegedly wrote in third person, also leaked to the public. She said that she was lied to and set up. I'm gonna put the pictures in here so you guys can pause it if you want to and read it. In 2012 is when we learned that she was allegedly using drugs because of the courts. It said that Britney's ex-boyfriend Sam told the Spears family that she had been crushing pills and hiding medication in her food. Britney's father, Jamie, also claims that Sam had been tracking her, following her, hiding her cell phone, wouldn't let her out of the house, and also encouraging the paparazzi to trail her because he was a former paparazzi and that's how they met. And then in 2007 is where we see her shave her head, and she keeps saying that she wants no one to touch her. She wants people to stop touching her. I feel like that's her just wanting to break free, wanting to get away. It's very known that when people feel controlled and they have a mental breakdown, they shave their head. It's almost like a rebirth. You just want to start fresh. And then she goes on to hit and run, and then she's also has an expired driver's license. 2007 is when she tries to do a comeback, and she's at the VMAs and she's in that little silver sparkly dress, and it does not go bad. It's a disaster. She looks dead in the eyes. She looks very dazed. She looks out of it. She looks like she can't walk in a straight line. She almost looks like she's just about to literally fall over and pass out. It's very hard to watch, especially if you've ever been depressed. She looks heavily medicated, in my opinion. In November 2008, for her For the Record documentary, she quotes, "Even when you go to jail, y'all know there's this time when you're going to get out. But in this situation, it's never ending. It's just like the Bill Murray movie Groundhog Day." And if you watch that doc, you could see the pain in her eyes. I remember watching it. It was, I believe, when she was filming You Better Work, Bitch. I think it was that. Or maybe it was Circus. But she looked so defeated. Her eyes looked so sad, like she's on the verge of crying and she just wants to like scream. And then Tess Barker and Barbara Gray started a podcast called Britney's Gram, where they would kind of just follow her Instagram, she would talk about it, you know, be a little funny. Also, just, that's what Britney Spears was about. Like, people, when they loved her, like, they loved her. Like, it was a cult, like I said. People just loved everything about her, just following her day to day. And then they got a random voice message left on their line. They asserted and said on the podcast that she had been micromanaged and controlled and held captive in her conservatorship. And in this voicemail, it was someone who identified himself as a former paralegal for the Spears team. He claims that her father is the reason she dropped the Las Vegas residency and claimed it on him being sick. Also alleges that Spears was in the mental health facility for much, much longer than what was portrayed in the media. And then celebrities like Tinashe, Miley Cyrus, Missy Elliott started tweeting out their support for Britney and the hashtag FREEBRITNEY movement, which is basically she needs to get out of this conservatorship and she needs to stop being controlled. That's where the Free Britney movement really came from and stemmed from. Now, most recently, getting into the hashtag Free Britney movement is what now gets me into her most recent TikTok and Instagram, which has been extremely telling. Her mother and her sister have been seen liking comments on Instagram that are about the hashtag Free Britney movement, getting her out from under her father's control. One post that her mother liked says, "Give Britney back her freedom, her voice, her life. Love you guys. Hashtag Free Britney." Her mom ended up liking. Another post said that her mom ended up liking was, "I really hope you are supporting Britney and trying to end this conservatorship. I really hope your ailing ex-husband isn't keeping your daughter somewhere against her will." Then Britney puts up a song that was released on her Glory album, and the song's called Just Like Me. She helped write this song, which she says she's extremely proud of, because it's been said that she was never really allowed to write songs. Many people believe this has a hidden message in it, and in the song it says over and over again, "She looks just like me," and a lot of people feel as though it could either be mind control or, and this is in my opinion what I believe, it's that she's been controlled for so long into being somebody else, she forgets who she really is. Now, if you guys want to, you could go check this out, but on TikTok and Instagram, she's been posting extremely bizarre dance videos. I'm sure you guys have seen them. Like I said, they've been everywhere. One of her most recent posts, a fan says, "If you need help, wear yellow in your next video." In her next video, she emphasizes that she's wearing her favorite yellow top and also places a yellow star emoji. And that right there, I believe, is proof in the pudding. She wants help. She doesn't know where to go. She doesn't know where to turn to. She's afraid that if she speaks out against her dad, he'll take her kids. He'll take her money. They've already took her pride and made her look absolutely crazy, even though she's not. I think this is why she's scared to say anything and defend herself, because it's like being trapped as a 6-year-old and wanting to speak out that something bad's happening at home, but you can't do anything because you have no money. You don't know who to trust because anybody you've ever trusted has taken advantage of you. And where do you go from there? You just keep taking the abuse. And that's where I feel like she's at right now. So this is my Britney Spears story. I know it's a little sad. It's actually really sad. Just going over and like reading all my notes kind of like put me in a little bit of a sad mood, not gonna lie. But I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and I'll see you soon. Bye.